Hello you lot, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today it's still nearly Christmas, so I'm going to do another Christmas recipe. I'm going to make a gingerbread sleigh and some reindeer and maybe some people, and maybe a Santa, I don't know. So a nice challenging project because, you know, it's Christmas in 4 days and I really haven't got enough time for anything, so let's just pile on a bit more pressure. I made a gingerbread house about 4 or 5 years ago. It was, well, actually it turned out pretty good, but oh my god, it was hard work. So hopefully we might do better this time. If you enjoy this video, give it a like, share and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you get notifications of all the other good stuff that's happening. Alright, thank you. Let's get on with it. So we're going to make gingerbread, and I've got 600 grams of plain all-purpose flour, 250 grams of butter, 200 grams of dark brown muscovado sugar, 155 grams of golden syrup. You might be able to use corn syrup, I've never found that. 4 teaspoons of ground ginger and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, baking soda. First thing to do is melt together the butter and the sugar and the golden syrup. Chop the butter up to make it melt more quickly. If your golden syrup won't flow easily, you can always just warm it up a bit in, maybe stand it in a bowl of hot water or possibly put it in the microwave. But this is doing okay today. While that's going on, we'll just mix the ginger spice and the bicarb with the flour. Now we add the sugar mixture to the flour mixture and just mixy till there's no flour visible. Might take a minute or two. It's very stiff, so I'm going to just work in a little splash of water. And then we'll let that cool down. I will have a cup of tea and then I'll explain about the template for the sleigh. So I've made a template of all the pieces that we need to cut out and for the sleigh, but the reindeer I've actually 3D printed a kind of stamp. It's a bit flimsy, but the idea with the reindeer is that they'll be freestanding because the legs will slot onto the body kind of thing, and the antlers will slot onto the head. That's the theory. I know it won't work in practice, but you have to try these things. So what I need to do is cut these out and then roll out some gingerbread and cut out gingerbread. Okay, that's all my bits cut out. For some of them I need to have 2 of, you know, there's 2 sides, there's 2 runners, 2 struts, 2 support posts. Okay, so I'll set those aside. And I need to roll out some gingerbread. And apparently the best way to do this is between 2 sheets of greaseproof paper, because then you're not adding extra flour and messing about with the mix. Alright, that's quite nice, I think. It's a bit wet, so I'm just going to cut a few things out. Right, I'm a bit concerned about the greasiness of these pieces, so I'm just going to bake those 2 off before I do any others. If it's not going to work, then we'll see why. So you want your oven heated to 180 Celsius for a fan oven. A convection oven, that's 200 for a conventional one, that's gas 6. And then just go in for 12 minutes. Actually, that looks pretty good. A bit floppy, so well, we'll leave that to cool down and firm up, and I'll get on with cutting out a million other pieces. In this batch I need to make a reindeer just to see if it actually works. This 3D print is a bit ropey because I did it on fairly high speed so that it will print in an hour instead of like 4. These are the legs. And this bizarre little thing is the antlers. I don't know if this will work at all. It's very fine. Right, well, there's the antlers. Well, they've worked quite splendidly actually, but it's very difficult to get out of the mould with, you know, it involved skewers and pushing and coercion. These are the panels for the floor and the front, and I've kind of embossed an F there for the front because, you know, they're almost identical. Then we've got the body of a reindeer, but the head has come off, so we need to be careful, very careful with that. And the trousers, the legs, again, handle with care, basically. Okay, this is the rest of the sleigh. I've got struts which hold the runners together but apart and then fix onto the underside of the sleigh. Support posts that hold up the seat, support rail goes on top of the support posts and also holds up the seat. This is the seat back and actual seat, and this is the front panel underneath the seat, and it's got these lugs which should fit into the indentations on the side of the floor panel. So I'll bake that. I've eaten the first reindeer. It fell apart, so I need to think about that a bit more. Okay, that's the last batch. Somewhat overbaked because well, the oven's really up to temperature, or possibly over. So it doesn't matter for those, it'll make them nice and strong. But for the next batch, which will be reindeers mostly, I'll only bake them for I think 9 minutes. The antler stamp, I've given up using it as, you know, an actual cutter. I'm just using it to give me the outline, and then I can cut around it with a knife. So I was plodding away, wasting time making antlers and legs for reindeers. What I need to do is build the sleigh, so I need to make the glue, which is basically royal icing. So what I've got is 200 grams of very fine sugar, whatever that is. It might be confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, icing sugar, caster sugar. And 2 egg whites and half a sachet, that's well, that'd be 2.5 grams, about half teaspoon of cream of tartar. And what this does is it makes the icing a bit more supple so it doesn't crack when it dries. That's the theory. So I need to mix those together. That was actually the wrong thing to do. I should have put the egg whites in the mixer with the cream of tartar and whisk them till they're sort of foamy. So, well, we'll see what happens. I obviously can't get the cream of tartar out of there, so we'll just whiz this and see. Right, it is foamy, so now I'm going to add the sugar and cream of tartar gradually. And we keep on beating it for, well, about 5 minutes until it's sort of smooth and glossy. And you need to use this immediately or keep it covered. Alright, before we start trying to stick stuff together, you'll probably find it easier if you just trim edges that are meant to be straight so that they are actually straight. So now I'm going to try and put it together. I've already broken a few bits, but then stuck them together with this icing, and it seems to have actually held really well. So what I'm going to do first is these notches and holes serve a purpose. It's to be a physical lock. For this is the front of the seat, and these two are supports for the back of the seat, and they go into those slots. So if I can get those, spoke too soon, fixed on, I'll let you know. Right, some time has passed and I've been this close to abandoning the project because, you know, I get little corners would snap off and for no reason, without me even touching them. The icing glue wasn't setting, but it is now. You just have to give it time. So I've got this far and I'm just going to stick the other side on and leave it like that overnight for it to set properly, and then I'll try and put this seat thing in. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day and I've sort of recovered from my mini meltdown because look, got the framework of a sleigh, and it's that icing glue is pretty steady, pretty firm. Yeah, the reindeer, I've changed the design so that this is the antlers. I've taken away the notch from the antlers and from top of the legs, so it's just straight, and I put those notches in the body so that there's a lot of gingerbread either side and it's not going to snap off. Here are my runners, and where is it? This is one of the brackets that goes, that spans the whole width of the sleigh, and there's a raised bit that sits under the floor. Obviously that is not long enough, so I'll need to remake that and cut it out and bake it. So I'll do a couple of reindeer, a couple of these, and then we can get on with some more stuff. Alright, there's me, bits and bobs for 2 and a bit reindeers and the 2 struts. I'm struggling a lot because the gingerbread is dry and crumbly now. I did add a bit of water in there to try and make it more malleable, and that worked, but yeah, I don't think I can use that anymore. Anyway, in the oven, I'm just going to give it 9 minutes this time. Okay, in we go. While that's baking, I want to ice these seat panels with a thickish layer of red icing, because that's going to be simulated quilted leather. So what I've got is some red food colouring and a little splash of water, because you have to dilute this stuff and it's amazingly strong. I had a couple of teaspoons of the icing glue. I'll just see if I can plop some on the panel. Right, now I'm going to pipe some decoration on the side. As you know, piping icing is my favourite occupation of all time. Not. But they do say practice makes perfect, so you know, once a year, bit of icing practice, then we'll get there. Right, wish me luck. I think this is possibly too runny, because I'm not actually squeezing it out of the bag, it's just running out. Well, I don't think that looks too bad. I'm going to glue the runners onto the cross struts that I've just made, and you'll probably need some things as supports. Apparently you can convert this structural icing into piping icing by adding more sugar. Alright, this icing is a disaster, so I'm just going to flood these panels, make it look like I meant to do that. And then we've got some Smarties, which come in a hexagonal cardboard tube these days. I didn't know that. Well, I've assembled a reindeer. I'm not moving it. I'm just going to leave it there overnight. Hopefully it'll set properly. Also, the sleigh itself, I need the icing to set on this side so I can finish decorating it with Smarties. And now it's taste test time with Mrs. KeefCooks!
Merry Christmas!
Right, here it is, the wonderful sleigh and Rudolph.
And I won't make us eat it.
With the red nose.
Because
and we're not going to eat it because...
we want to look at it.
Yeah. So, but we have got some gingerbread.
We have. And we've got some mulled cider to go with it.
Components. The trousers of time.
Because you got to make gingerbread so that it's really crisp and hard, so it'll hold its shape, and then you wait till Christmas for it to soften up.
Well, you dip it in your tea or your mulled cider.
That's a fine pair of legs.
That's a lovely clove.
You can actually get the proper ginger coming through, and proper...
It takes a while. And the butter.
And the deep brown sugar, the dark stuff. It's... You can ring my bell.
I haven't been wearing those this year because they tinkle, and a lot of people complain about tinkling noise because it triggers them. So stop.
It triggers them?
Oh, it annoys them.
Oh yeah, no, it would do. I mean, it would drive me nuts as well. I mean, these are all right for popping up and going, hello!
Okay, right. So here it is. Merry Christmas.
It's alright, I'm just working up to join in, but I was just thinking I should have put some honey in that to go with this. Oh, this is lovely.
Right. That's Christmas done. So,
as I was just saying, right, we're just going to do toast test time, and then we can put the house back together, and then it can be Christmas.
thank you for watching, and see you next time.